Hello, my name's Michael Conneely, and this video is entitled The New Moon of July the 14th is a Time to Cradle. And I do feel sure that this is the case from very detailed study I've done that I'm going to share with you. I'd say the new moon of July the 14th is definitely a time to cradle. It's a time to cradle up, to look after yourself and protect your home. Stay calm, focus on seeing, identifying the strong you. Please do hang on to these words as I now carefully summarise the surrounding energies, some of which are quite fraught. And some of them even lay important demands on us as well. So in Vedic Astrology, this new moon is Moon and Sun at 27 Sidereal Gemini. That's in Punarvasu Nakshatra, in fact Pada 3 of Punarvasu Nakshatra. And the energy that this Pada of Punarvasu Nakshatra gives is imaginative, able to move in different levels of consciousness without conflict. Sounds good for this time. In Western Astrology, using the tropical zodiac, this new moon is at 21 Cancer. Now, being in Cancer, it's a time to do some work on our inner child. And it's a time for being caring about our home. Rest, restore. Make your home comfy and kind at this time. Don't let, outside things like career pressures yank you out of your needed restorative nest. So the first feature of the charts for this new moon that I'd mention is the chart aspect shape called a cradle. A fascinating thing about the Western Astrology chart is that there's a cradle chart aspect shape. So go to my Star Wheel Astrology website and then the July page under the More drop down, and you will see that the base of the cradle is Uranus sextile Neptune. The sides of the cradle are Uranus sextile Jupiter and Neptune sextile Pluto, and the top of the cradle is Jupiter opposition Pluto. And I was so fascinated to see that there was a cradle chart aspect shape, but it's actually upside down in the charts. So what that means energetically is that we must be so careful and determined to keep the cradle energies going in our life. And don't get pulled aside by engaging with energies that could actually tip us out at this time for our needed cradle. Now the next facet I want to mention is Jupiter. A very important energy to be aware of is that Jupiter is super strong in Vedic Cancer at the time of this new moon. Jupiter is at max dignity, so allow yourself to be expansive and to be open to blessings and inspirations at this time. Adopt an attitude that is generous and wise and kind. Yes, it's true that Jupiter is combust from July the 14th to August the 13th. So, be aware of that. Make a strong intention to hang on to the lovely fullness of Jupiterian energy as the combustion time grows. And make a resolution to benefit from the fact that Jupiter is transiting through Pushyami Nakshatra at this time. The nakshatra whose presiding deity is Brihaspati, that is, guru energy. Stay connected to that. Okay, Venus at this time. Well, Venus is conjunct Ketu South Node at this time. And Ketu is an energy that is cutting and does not let any of us cling on to our patterns that no longer help us, even if they ever did. So now is such a time to be open to you, the new you, in Venus matters like love. Look over your love scripts. Accept what must go now. Embrace the patterns that will serve you better for your happiness from now. Well, the next important feature is Uranus conjunct Mars conjunct Sedna. Be aware that Uranus, Mars and asteroid Sedna are conjunct. This is potentially a terrible energy if it aspects one of your planets in your birth charts. And if so, cultivate awareness of the nature of Sedna, as epitomized by the Inuit Eskimo goddess, namely, that out of terrible events or energies or suffering, we can learn to generate a harvest. So if this aspectation applies to you, meditate on and focus on the key topic in your life and your future, and bring in the question, what is the nature of my desired harvest now? What harvest do I want to bring in now? And in the comfort time of this new moon, examine the energies surround you, examine what's going on in your feelings and body energies and mind energies, and identify what is your desired harvest at this phase, and what changes do you need to bring in so as to manifest your harvest. So a couple of more energies around this new moon. Well, Mercury and Saturn. Mercury is retrograde, and Mercury is conjunct the new moon and sun. And Saturn is square the new moon. So we mustn't let our minds get phased if the usual Mercury retrograde chaoses arise. And we need to know that Saturn, in addition to being the, horribly hard taskmaster, Lord of Karma, does offer each of us a golden reaping if we identify and meet his karmic demands on us, many of them coming from previous lives, at each step of our life. So the last astrological factor of the energies of the new moon that I'm going to mention is that Chiron is T-square in opposition. Chiron is opposite is T-square, the Pluto opposition Jupiter now. You're caught in a tension between wanting to grow in some important area of your life and the need to destroy certain of your former patterns that you need to identify with ever more clarity. And this pressure to grow is activating a Chiron wound of yours. And get a reading from me and I'll go through your Chiron wounds and ways of healing. This pressure is calling out to you to identify exactly what is. And then heal it now. And not only that, please be aware that the wound is leaving us feeling doubtful of our abilities and insecure. But yeah, we incarnated to heal our Chiron wound. So yes, let us have our cradle time now and create happiness. But within it also absolutely try to hold ourselves in a strong way. Try to solve any dragging crisis that's featuring in our life. And yes, get a reading from me about the details and how to bring in healing. You see, in my readings, and in my wonderful astrology courses, I always combine both Vedic astrology, the astrology of our fate and destiny and karmas, with your Western astrology, the astrology of our personality self and its unfoldment. And I can also point to you, or actually give you, a range of wonderful healings as a follow-up to the reading that might really benefit if that's necessary. So go to my Star Wheel Astrology website. And I have to say that as typical of these Mercury retrograde and Uranus Sedna energies, where Uranus Sedna is actually opposite my Mars Chiron, my website just ran into some trouble. I've contacted my webmaster asking him to rectify it, but it's Saturday afternoon, so I hope he gets the email and the phone call. But just in case you can't get through straight away, please do kindly try again later and let us together work to overcome the Mercury retrograde and the difficult side of the Uranus Sedna energies. So, I hope this analysis has been really helpful. Enjoy your cradle time, set up your cradle time, and all blessings to our work together. Thank you.